Hey everybody, good Monday morning. And no, we're not in the shaving bay. We're not in the man cave. We're actually out here in the elements. Hope you're having a great Labor Day weekend. And I just got one question for you. Raise your hand if you've ever failed at something. And how did that feel? I want to talk about that. This is your Monday morning moment. Let's dive right in. Hey, good Labor Day morning to each and every one of you. I hope you're ready for a great day, a better week. I would like to first of all lift up in prayer all of us, and I include us, that could be possibly in the track of Hurricane Dorian. Some are already feeling the effects, and I lift everybody up in prayer and hope that each and every one of us will take the necessary precautions as we get through the week. Okay, so that's that. Failure. I don't think I know anybody that likes failure. But let me ask you, do you see failure as a blessing or a curse? Yeah, and I think the answer to that really depends on your perspective. Let me tell you what I mean. What's the criteria we use, to judge whether or not you failed at something? What's the standard you set yourself? And who sets that for you? Where did you learn that? That's the perspective I'm talking about. And I think the thing is this. You have choices. Oh, choices again. You have choices. And I think the thing is this. If you choose to use the standards of this world to determine whether or not you fail at something, you're always going to see failure as a curse. I want to suggest today, and I've got some gold nuggets for you, I want to suggest that maybe you can change your perspective and see failure as a blessing. Yeah. A blessing. All right, you ready to dive right in? Do you remember several weeks ago we talked about change, and we discussed how change is inevitable. It's going to happen, but it can make you stronger, it can help you to grow, and it can help you to become a better person. Well, I think failure is pretty much the exact same thing. But where we run into trouble with failure is that we're too concerned about how the world's going to judge us if we fail. We're all guilty of that, aren't we? Okay, I'm going to throw out to you, that perhaps God sees failure in a slightly different way. Are you shocked to hear me say that? And I've got some gold nuggets for you to help me back up my statement. All right, the first one I got for you today is from Proverbs, yet again Proverbs, chapter 24, verse 16. For though the righteous fall 7 times, they rise again, but the wicked stumble when calamity strikes. Okay, the next one is Psalm 37, verses 23 through 24. The Lord makes firm the steps of the one who delights in him. Though he may stumble, he will not fall, for the Lord upholds him with his hand. Okay, what do those two things mean? In a nutshell, they mean God's got your back every single time. And as long as you're not wicked, we're not going to get into all that. I think you know the difference between wicked and righteous. Righteous is you're a good person trying to do the right thing all the time. As long as you're doing that, guess what? God has got your back every single time. Okay, so at this point, you're probably going, okay, Shep, I get it. Okay, depend on God. He's going to, be there to have my back. But I still have to deal with failure every single day of my life. And you know what? You're going to deal with failure every single day of your life. How you choose to handle that failure is going to make all the difference in the world. So I got another gold nugget for you, piece of advice about how to handle failures, especially ones in the past, okay, which they all become in the past, don't they? But this is from the Apostle Paul, his letter to the Philippians, chapter 3, verse 13. Listen to this. But one thing I do, forgetting what is behind and straining towards what is ahead. Okay. That message is pretty clear, isn't it? You got to forget about your past failures, okay? You just got to wipe them clean and keep looking forward to what's ahead. Because if you dwell on the past, it's going to wear you down. Just voice of experience talking to you right now. And then this next one is probably one of my favorite positive verses of all time, Jeremiah 29:11. Many of you know this one. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you, plans to give you a hope and a future. Okay, so doesn't that help? It helps me when I deal with failure, knowing that God's got my back. He's got a plan for my future. It is filled with hope and it's good. We've talked about this over the last several months. So embrace that. Embrace it every single day of your life, and you will be able to see failure as a blessing. I know it's tough, but you got to do it, or else it's just the world's going to wear you down. I don't want that to happen to any of y'all. You know, one last thing I just want to throw out to help you with your perspective, and that's this. You know, in the history of man, since the beginning of time, there's only been one person, Jesus, who never failed. And yet, if we held him up to today's standards, he would be considered a complete failure, wouldn't he? No money, no possessions, none of that stuff. So just think about that. Stop being so hard on yourselves, okay? God's got you. He loves you no matter what. And one final thing that I always like to say is, you know what? Adversity is the foundation for success. So if you have no failure, you can't be a success. See if that resonates. Okay. I would like to throw out to you that I'm adding another book to my little list of recommendations, and I'll put the link in the appropriate spots. This was the Spiritual Gifts book by Charles Stanley, and I hope some of you took advantage of the Wild at Heart recommendation. It's just such a solid book, especially for guys. So I hope you'll do that, and then you'll probably see one of these sides. You'll probably see my little face pop up. That is a YouTube subscribe icon, and I would hope that you would subscribe to my YouTube channel. All these things are going to help me continue to bring you what I hope is videos and stuff that you find of tremendous value. So I appreciate your support on all of that. All right, friends and neighbors, as we head into the week, I would just like to say, may the Lord of peace himself be with you at all times and in every way. The Lord be with all of you. Please be safe. Good Lord willing, we'll see you back here next Monday morning. Take care.